With the details to the news for Wednesday, October 20th, I am Rikisha St. Louis. While the Ministry of Education does not anticipate a large number of students for face-to-face engagement when school reopens on November 1st, it is encouraging teachers and parents of children 12 years and older to get vaccinated. During the government's weekly post-cabinet briefing on Tuesday, Education Minister Honorable Emmeline Pear said Cabinet has approved the phased reopening of school from November 1st for students who are currently disconnected from remote learning. She advised that greater immunization numbers will prevent the further spread of the virus and help to protect the rest of the student population.
While vaccination is not mandatory, the Ministry of Education, in keeping with the guidance from the Ministry of Health, encourages all teachers and all parents of students 12 years and older to ensure that in the case of teachers, they are vaccinated, and in the case of parents, to ensure that their students are vaccinated. I repeat, vaccination is not mandatory. However, we are convinced, we are of the view strongly, that it will significantly reduce any possible spread of COVID-19 as we return to school.
The government of Grenada will intensify efforts to secure grants and concessional loans to help cover its additional financing needs. Delivering the throne speech on the occasion of the 5th session of the 10th Parliament on Friday, Governor General Dame Cecile Lagrenade said government will also invoke the escape clause in the Fiscal Responsibility Law for 2022 to facilitate an expanded capital investment program and COVID-related expenditures. The escape clause grants the government flexibility to temporarily depart from its compliance with fiscal rules and budgetary targets to allow the country to withstand economic shocks by taking the necessary measures to sustain the economy. Dame Cecile said economic stability is critical.
Sound social and economic management play a pivotal role in maintaining economic stability and supporting growth and recovery. My government reaffirms its commitment to pursue sound financial and economic policies to limit the social and economic implications of the crisis and to foster a robust and sustainable recovery. The lingering efforts of the pandemic call for a continued counter-cyclical fiscal policy to facilitate an expanded capital investment program and COVID-related expenditures. My government, as stated earlier, will invoke the escape clause in the Fiscal Responsibility Law for 2022. External resource mobilization will also be critical. My government will intensify its efforts to secure grants and concessional loans to help cover the additional financing needed in the coming period.
Continuing the news, Prime Minister Dr. The Right Honorable Keith Mitchell is deeply saddened by the passing of Colin Powell, former U.S. Secretary of State, whom he described as a friend of Grenada. Powell, who is credited with helping to shape American foreign policy, died on Monday. Dr. Mitchell said his most treasured memory of the late American diplomat was his visit to Grenada in October 2004, 1 month after Hurricane Ivan demolished much of the country. The Prime Minister said, and I quote, Colin Powell's visit and his promises of support from the U.S. government brought such a ray of hope at a time of great despair. I vividly remember the time we spent together during his visit when he showed much interest in the well-being of our people and our country. Following his visit, Grenada benefited from $50 million in aid for reconstruction, the first time the U.S. was so generous in its support to the region. I will be forever grateful for his valuable support and that of President Bush. I considered them both true friends of Grenada, unquote. In remembering the visit, the Prime Minister expressed deep appreciation for the show of support. Better accessibility has been created to more than 200 acres of farm roads with the near completion of the St. George's Estate Feeder Roads project. The project is now 97% complete, with the 3% of work left to be completed on the bridge.
The road was approximately half a kilometre long, so we installed half a kilometre of box drains. There's one cross pipe culvert as well as a reinforced concrete bridge, and then the concrete carriageway varies between 4.5 to 6 metres wide at the bridge. So those works have been completed. Right now we're about 97% complete. All that we have to do is cast the 2 upstands to the bridge and install the guardrails.
Construction manager at Hanover Construction Company Limited, Peter Copperstone. Despite challenges with the weather, the greater portion of work took 9 months to complete.
The guardrails have been delayed slightly. They're being shipped in from Trinidad due to the COVID restrictions, but we hope to be complete by the end of October. It really depends on when we get the guardrails in from Trinidad, so we're working on that. So it's probably going to be sort of first, second week in November when we can have an official handover.
So this took approximately how many months?
This project took approximately 9 months to construct.
The feeder road at Bel Air has already been completed, while work is ongoing at Clabone and Redmud. This is the National Report. The news will continue after the break.
Let's get tough on breed larceny. It will destroy our economy. Larceny threatens our food security. Can hurt us locally, hurt us globally. To all the buyers, ask for license from all produce sellers. To all the people, 300 for police for them thieving fellas. To all the farmers, please don't steal produce from your brother. Then you're selling to traffickers, hotels and street vendors. Nah man, let's do all we can to stop breed larceny. New vigilance, new laws, and a tough judiciary. Stop Grenada's organized business crime. It's time.
To report breed larceny, call 300.
Welcome back. The transportation sector will benefit yet again from a collaborative effort of the government and Sol EC Limited. On Tuesday, 45 gallons of sanitizing solution and face mask were handed over to the Ministry of Transportation by the company. This follows an initiative to provide free fuel to bus operators during the month of September. The donation of sanitizing solution is part of efforts to assist bus operators and commuters to maintain compliance with the COVID-19 protocols. Speaking at a short handover ceremony of the sanitizing solutions, sales and marketing representative Mrs. Keisha Noel Charles of Sol Grenada said that the company is happy to partner with the government of Grenada in the fight against the virus.
Sol EC Limited is happy to partner with the Ministry of Transportation in supplying sanitizers and masks to support the bus commuters and also the busmen as they support the transportation of persons from the various locations across Grenada. Today we are just doing a formal handover of some of that sanitizer. This is not our first donation during the period. We have donated so far 2 drums of sanitizers and a couple hundred masks and so forth in order to help persons meet the safety protocols as we all grapple with this pandemic and to minimize the spread of COVID throughout our communities.
Minister for Transport Senator the Honourable Norland Cox commended Sol for supporting the bus operators through the provision of free fuel for a 2-week period. For every $50 worth of fuel purchased, bus operators received an additional $5 in free fuel. He said that he's happy for the prompt response made by Sol to assist.
On behalf of the Government of Grenada and, of course, the Ministry of Infrastructure and the Transport Division, we want to thank Sol for the generous support and contribution towards the fight towards COVID-19. It's a difficult time for everybody in Grenada, Carriacou and Pitmanic right now dealing with this pandemic. And every support that we can get is invaluable during this time. A few weeks ago, the Prime Minister made a clarion call for everyone to come on board to give support, and Saul has responded, and we are very grateful for the support of this 45-gallon drum of hand sanitizer fluid and a couple thousand masks as well. We know that this would not be the last contribution, and we look forward to continue partnering with Saul as we provide support to our transport sector.
CARICOM Ambassador Ali Gill has fulfilled his promise to the staff at the St. John and St. Mark Health District with the donation of equipment and other materials to assist in the fight against COVID-19. This donation comes weeks after the ambassador donated health supplies to the Guelph Medical Center. On Tuesday, he handed over pulse oximeters, gloves, sanitizers, and other supplies to head nurse Theresa Robertson. Ambassador Gill said the donation is part of a collaboration with nurses and organizations in the United States.
The nurses had requested 25 pulse oximeters. I then secured it with the assistance of some very good Grenadians, and I must give special mention to nurses Alice Alexander and nurses Dennis Romney Adams in New York, as well as Mr. Siku Johnson and myself. And here we are, we have secured not just the oximeters, but we brought some surface wipes to keep sanitizing the face, additional face shields, additional N95 masks to continue to assist the nurses. You continue to be on the front line, and you continue to serve our people, putting yourselves at danger. And the least we can do is to assist you in ensuring that we assist you in protecting yourselves and your family.
Nurse Robertson welcomed the assistance and underscored the significance of the supplies in saving and protecting lives during this period.
On behalf of Guam Health Center staff and St. John's and Mark District, we want to thank you immensely for these pulse oximeters and all the other stuff that you would have given us today. We want to make special mention of Nurse Lucy Joseph, who would have asked for the pulse oximeter and couldn't come at a better time. With this front line and this COVID situation that we're going through, it is best needed. Don't mind, it's a simple little tool, but it's very efficient. You can check the patient's pulse in order to let us know that if they're bradycardic or tachycardic. And you also can check their oxygen saturation, so that will determine whether they need oxygen or not. So once again, we want to say thank you very much to you and to the other nurses overseas that could have given us these supplies.
That story just ended the national report for Wednesday, October 20th, recapping the top story. Education Minister calls for greater immunization numbers in schools to help prevent the spread of COVID-19. On behalf of the entire news and production team, I am Rikisha St. Louis saying thank you for joining us. Until next time.